Hi, it's Ken Goldie. I just wanted to take a moment to wish you a very happy Thanksgiving to yourself, to your family and extended family, friends, your community, and of course to your company, to your employees and their families, and your customers and clients. Just a joyous holiday season to everyone in the world that you influence so much. I just want to thank you for the time that we've spent talking. It's been my honor and pleasure to meet you and talk to you about what we do here at Breakthrough Leadership Training. And I want to leave you with a little gift for the holiday, a little framework that I call Breaking Through Inaction. Here's the thing about being in inaction. We often don't recognize that we are. There's something that we want, whether it's a business goal or a personal goal, a lifestyle goal, a health goal, whatever it is, and we haven't taken action towards it, or we haven't taken sufficient action towards it to actually accomplish it. And usually there's a little tape playing in our head to justify our inaction. And I like to say about that tape that we don't hear it, but we listen to it. That negative thoughts and distractions and fears and apprehensions and avoidance plays in our head, and we don't really hear it, but it still gets through. It still affects the action we take or don't take towards accomplishing our goal. So here's a little tool. Actually start to listen for it in the form of complaints or blame or excuses that come out of your mouth, that you actually say in words, because we can hear them coming out of our mouth better than we can hear them playing in our head. And the way to listen for it is, imagine you're in a conversation with a friend or a colleague or an employee or a boss or a client or anybody, and you say, hey, there's this thing I want to do. And they say, well, have you done it? Or why don't you do it? And then you start to list the reasons why you haven't either taken action towards that thing or haven't accomplished that thing. And if the reasons you hear are blaming the economy, blaming the market at the time, blaming downturns or blaming time, or making excuses that you don't have enough time, or that you don't feel good, or that your health isn't right in the moment, or making excuses about other people or for other people, or blaming the weather, or fear. If you notice fear in the words, and a lot of people don't like the word fear, they say, well, I'm not afraid, and then they use a word to kind of mitigate the fear. They say, I just have some misgivings about spending the money right now, or I just have some apprehensions about putting in the time or effort right now. That's a fear of loss. It's a fear of not wanting to face a consequence in the future of whatever action you take now not paying off. Or maybe the fear is in the action that actually has to be taken. Maybe it looks too challenging or too painful, or there's going to be too much effort. And then that goes with a fear of that pain, of that effort or time or money being wasted if it doesn't come to fruition. At least when we start listening for our words speaking these kinds of blame or excuse making or complaints, we can start to identify that we are in inaction. It's a tool to recognize that you are in inaction around something, so that you can then break it down by choice. And you can say, oh, instead of just having this tape play in my head and not doing this thing that I do want to do because I have a fear about these outcomes not working out, I can actually break it down and say, what is it that I want to accomplish? What are my fears? What am I afraid of either wasting or losing, or the energy and effort that I'm going to put in that's not going to pay off? And then weigh them against each other. Do I want this outcome more than I don't want to put in the time or effort or energy or money to accomplish it? And if so, if I want this outcome more than I don't want the potential loss of the effort that I have to put in to accomplish it, then choose to go take action. Or you can break it down and say, I don't want that outcome. I don't want that outcome enough to put in the time, money, effort, energy that might be wasted or lost to get it. But if you make that choice, at least you can then stop complaining about it and stop making excuses about it and stop laying blame about it, because you've chosen to not go do it. But I suspect here's what's going to happen. You're going to find yourself still complaining about it, and still making excuses about it, and still laying blame about it. And then you have to say to yourself again, maybe the fear of these things is just playing in me so much that it's trying to convince me that I don't want this outcome, but I'm still speaking it, which means I still do want it, which means the time that I don't want to waste, or the money that I'm afraid of losing, or the effort that I don't want to waste, or the energy that it's going to take to go do this are actually not enough to stop me from going to take this action to achieve this outcome. And then you need to make a plan to achieve the outcome, which I'll address in another video, a plan making tool that I have called Making a Pact with Yourself. But right now I just want to leave you with that. Just Go start listening for complaints or blame or excuses as they come out of your mouth, because we don't hear them in our head. And when you hear them, say to yourself, what do I want that I am justifying my inaction in not moving towards? And how can I use that as a tool to break through that inaction and go achieve this thing that I know I want? And with that, have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. Again, thank you for the time we've spent working together or talking with each other. And I just want to wish you a great holiday, and I'll talk to you again later.